Hello, stream. Um, this stream's gonna be a little different. I'm gonna be playing Minecraft and giving my thoughts on the new Wakanda Forever Black Panther movie. This is my personal review. Whatever I'm saying is not facts. It's just my personal opinion about the movie and just the things that I liked and disliked about it. And then I'll be talking a little bit about the first Black Panther as well, and what I liked about too. But this is mainly going to focus on Wakanda Forever. Okay, so I liked it. I'm just coming right out the gate and say I liked the movie. I thought it was really good. Um, I appreciated the what Ryan Coogler did. He was the director of this movie. The visuals are really pretty. The costumes are beautiful. I loved all the new characters. I feel like, in my opinion, they added to the story. They didn't take away from the story. Now, getting down to the actual plot, I will say, you know, the movie starts out pretty serious. Chadwick's gone. The family is mourning his loss, and this is pretty serious in the first, I would say, 20 minutes of the film because, of course, as you know, Princess Shuri, Black Panther, King T'Challa's sister, she's mourning him, and she couldn't save her brother basically, so that's really hard on her. And then you have, the funeral, of course, the actual funeral, and I feel like they did a really good job of honoring him and honoring his life. They wore white, which is a celebration of his life, and I really, really like that. So the main conflict of this film is basically there's a new civilization that was brought up in the film, and I think their name, I'm gonna butcher it, but the Telokans, and their leader is this king named Namor or Namor, and turns out that Wakanda isn't the only civilization that has vibranium. So Namor and his people, their identity gets compromised when the U.S. government or the FBI are under the ocean and they find some vibranium. So his tribe, they try to stop them from taking their natural resources. So that's how the plot starts. The reason why they even know that vibranium exists in the first place is because in the first movie of Black Panther, T'Challa went to the UN and pretty much let the other nations know that, hey, we have vibranium and it's this really cool resource. You can make very technology advanced weapons. It's used in our civilization for a multitude of things. And yeah, we just wanted to let you know that we have this cool resource. So, yeah, I know T'Challa had a good heart and he meant well when he told them about that. But let's be real, that wasn't a good idea because now that they know about it, they want some of it. So basically, they found the vibranium under the ocean, and they were trying to take it. And as they tried to take it, let's just say it didn't go too well for them. Because as soon as the Telokans even saw that they were coming to take their natural resource, they died. The two people underwater, the uh, the agents or the FBI or the CIA. I don't really know what branch they are, but and the Talokans, a little fun fact about them, and I know I'm butchering their name. I don't know how to pronounce it, but their civilization is in the sea. So they're not land people, they're sea creatures. And Namor is the very first of its kind. He's the very first purebred sea creature because at the time of his birth, he was born with those powers because of his mother's condition. So his mom was pregnant with him, and she drank the herb, which is the vibranium, and that helped his people get cured from the I think it was chickenpox or some kind of outbreak during the Spanish colonial when the Spaniard colonizers came to pretty much take over their people. So yeah, that's how they turned into the sea creatures, and that's how they were able to save themselves. But the conflict happens when Namor basically breaches into Wakanda and tells them, "Hey, look, the U.S. government, they're trying to take my people's resources. I need your help. We need to team up because look, we both have vibranium, and me and my people, we were low key. You know what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden our name is on the map. We tried to stay low key. Now they know about us. Now they're gonna try to take our stuff, and we need you to team up with us." Now, Queen Rafunda or Ramunda, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce her name, but T'Challa's mother and Princess Shuri, his sister, they basically were like, "Well, we don't know who you are, and we're not gonna take any demands from you, and we're not gonna help you." So of course Namor doesn't take that lightly, and he's like, "Look, either you help me, or it's gonna be some problems. And by problems, somebody's gonna die, or I'm gonna force you to team up with me." So they weren't trying to hear none of that. They were like, "Yeah, no, we're not having this right now." Um. So yeah, basically they declined his offer to have an alliance. And it kind of bit them in the butt because, in my opinion, I think they really should have teamed up with him in the first place. But then again, if they did, it wouldn't be a movie. It would have been over in like 30 minutes. But, essentially, their main conflict isn't with each other. It's with the U.S. government and whoever else in the United Nations wants a piece of their natural resource that T'Challa told the world about, which I don't think was a good idea. Because the thing about that is, whenever you have something that other people don't have, and it's really, really, really rare, and it's a really awesome natural resource, other people are going to want to take it. And T'Challa, his mindset basically of warning people about it was like, "Hey, this is something that I feel like other people will find useful. I think other nations, this could help the world," basically. That was his thinking. And even in the movie, the people in Wakanda were like, "What do you mean you're going to tell the United Nations about vibranium? That's not a good idea. They're gonna try to take it. They're going to try to destroy our land, destroy our people, so they can get a hands on our resource." And T'Challa was like, "No, no, no. They're not like that. They wouldn't do that. This is gonna help their people. This is gonna help, everyone around the world. Like, this is something great." Well, what they feared actually happened, and T'Challa unfortunately is not there to save them. He's not there to help, you know, mediate things. So they pretty much have to figure it out on their own. But they're smart. They're capable. So basically, the Talokans and the Wakandans are beefing with each other because the Namor and his people are like, "Look, whoever made the machine to help track down vibranium, they need to be gone." And Wakanda's like, "No, whoever made the machine to track down vibranium, we don't want them killed. We want to save them because they're useful and they're helpful. So the person that made the machine to track down the vibranium is a 19-year-old college student in America. And her name is Ironheart. That's what they call her in the movie. And my thing is, you know, she didn't think her machine was going to be used for, raping people's land of its natural resources. That was really just for a project. And it was kind of like, the US government was like, yeah, we're going to use this. So basically, you know, they try to get their hands on her so like nobody tries to hurt her or try to, what I'm saying, because she's useful. She's the one that has the abilities and the expertise and the skill to make a machine so powerful that it can mine vibranium. So they wanted to save her before Namor or anybody got their hands on her and kill her because they don't want her dead, the Wakandans. But Namor and his people want her dead because she's basically a liability and she can be the one that could just make more machines and, you know. But the thing is, someone brought this up and it wasn't my thought, but I actually agree with them. They said Namor is aware that she's not the only one that can make a machine like that. He's aware that other people, they can just find someone else who's just as capable and just as talented. But Namor, what he did was the reason why he was stressing to kill her was because he wanted to see what side Princess Shuri would be on. Like, would she really have his back with that decision? And that makes sense because at some point in the movie, you know, Princess Shuri was kidnapped by Namor and his people. But she wasn't held as a hostage. She wasn't held as a prisoner. She was kind of just like, what I'm saying, treated as a princess, pretty much. She wasn't held against her will. She wasn't, well, she kind of was, but it's like, it wasn't like she was, in a typical prisoner, setting. It was more so like she was a guest and she was a high profile guest and they treated her well, gave her clothing, food, and as well as the person that was the creator of the vibranium machine, the 19-year-old genius from America. So Namor, pretty much his whole mission of kidnapping Shuri wasn't to terrorize her and it wasn't to instill fear in her. It was actually to get her to understand his people and understand, okay, why he was wanting to do what he wanted to do. Why it's so important for him to protect, something so precious to him. So, he tells her about his history and he tells her about, his past and how his people are over 300 years old. Actually, over 400 years old because slavery is over 400 years. It's been since slavery happened. So, yeah, so his people are over, biologically, they're immortal. They can be killed, but if not killed, they're pretty much, they'll live forever. And so they live under the sea. They have an entire civilization, and he showed her. And he's trying to help her understand, like, look, this is what we're trying to protect. This is what we spent hundreds of years building. And, he's basically like, we're no different. I'm no different from you. Like, you're trying to protect your land. I'm trying to protect my land. We both have this beautiful natural resource, which is vibranium. We both need to cherish this, and we both need to work together to stop these other nations from taking it from us. And so his first main target was America. But then he shifted his focus to the world because, let's face it, first it's America that knows about vibranium, but there's no telling when the rest of the world will find out. Russia, China, whoever else. And they're like, wait, we want some of that too. We want in on it too. So he's like, now he has beef with the world because, before T'Challa let everyone know about the vibranium, before T'Challa let everyone know about the vibranium, you know, They were chilling for 300 years. They were minding their business. No one knew about them. They're very low key. So, you know, now that the world knows about them, now he's extra careful. Now he's like, okay, I need to protect my people and basically kill anyone else who gets in the way. So yeah, that's Nemar's thinking. He tried his best to get Shuri, Princess Shuri, to understand his reasonings. But ultimately, Shuri was like, yeah, that's great, but no, I still don't want to form an alliance with you. So while that's all going on, Princess Ramonda, she's like, okay, well, my daughter is still kidnapped by Namor's people. She's not aware of what Namor's doing. For all she knows, her daughter's being tortured, which she wasn't. So she sends someone to go rescue her, and that someone was Nakia, which, as you know, in the first Black Panther, is T'Challa's love interest. So Nakia is tasked with rescuing Princess Shuri and Ironheart, which is, the 19-year-old girl who built the vibranium machine. She's tasked with rescuing her. She actually ends up being successful, and she does end up rescuing Princess Shuri and Ironheart. But it did come with a cost. She ended up fatally wounding one of Namor's people. Now, as far as Namor's people, they're not as populated as Wakanda. Namor's sea civilization, they're pretty close knit. It's not that many of them, actually. Even though they're like 400 years old, there's not that many of them. So when one dies, it's a big deal. It's not like they take that very seriously. They're like a really close family, and no, there's no one life, more valuable than the next. Everyone's life is pretty much treated equally. So when she dies, that's basically, you know, what really, really starts to thicken the plot. So Princess Shuri tries to save the girl that Nakia shot as she was trying to rescue Princess Shuri and Ironheart. But Nakia was like, look, we gotta go. We don't have time to save this girl. They're not one of our people. I don't care. She's like, look, I'm here to rescue you. I'm saying, she's like, I gotta do whatever it takes because Queen Ramonda, she sent me to come rescue you. And, hey, if she had to die, then she had to die, so be it. And Princess Shuri, she's very level-headed in this movie. She's very compassionate. And you really get to see more of the kind of person she is. She's similar to her brother, but not exactly. So she's basically like, look, this is a really bad move on your end. This is going to be a war because we killed one of his own people. You shouldn't have killed her. Now it's up. And she was right. So Namor finds her. She's dead. And Namor was like, look, you know what? I tried to be nice. I tried to form an alliance. I tried to get them on our side. I tried to, get them to understand my point of view. Just for them to kill one of my own, I haven't killed any of their people. I haven't even threatened you. I haven't mistreated you. I've treated you as a guest. I invited you to my home. And then you leave and you kill one of my own. So, as you can imagine, it wasn't too good for the Wakandans because, as you know, the Namor and his people, they're like water people. So they come to Wakanda and they just flood it. They flood the entire civilization. They flood the houses. They flood the buildings, the businesses. They just flood everything. It's like God came or something. And this is a huge major spoiler, but someone did die as a result from that. A very, very, very high profile character. I'm not going to say who because even though this is a spoiler, I know there might be somebody watching they're not, maybe they want to go see it. So I won't tell you who dies, but it is a really, really big deal. So yeah, basically someone dies as a result of that. And you know, the Wakandans and the Talokans are at war now. So that's pretty much the plot of the movie. It's very, very high paced. Uh, the runtime is almost 3 hours long. So if you go see this movie, I mean, from the minute you sit down to the minute you leave, every second is filled with action. There's no time to even scratch your ass. Like there's literally you're watching everything go down. There's no snoring moment in the movie. It's just straight up plot action. I enjoyed it. I'm not a movie critic, and I'm not very too picky when it comes to movies, but I am a little bit because let's face it, these past couple of years, the movies that have been dropping, they not really that good. But I will say Ryan Coogler, which is the director of this movie, he's very young. He's only in his early 30s. He did a great job with directing this movie. I think he directed the first one, and they're like, yeah, we want you back. He did a good job with this movie. The costumes weren't bad. Princess Shuri, I will say my final thoughts of the characters. I really did like Princess Shuri. She was, of course, this is a very serious movie. And you get to see, her grief, and you get to see Wakanda and what the Wakandans did with and how they're grieving T'Challa. It was a good movie, Princess Shuri was one of my favorites. Her and Namor. She wants to protect her people, and she doesn't want to harm anybody unless it's absolutely necessary. She just wants peace, and I think that's one of the most amazing qualities about her as a leader, is that even after someone very, very close to her passed due to the hands of the Talokans, Namor's people, she still in the end decided to show grace. And I think that shows a lot about her character and why so many people love her as a leader. But overall, it was a really good movie. And if you do see it, like I said, remember, it's almost 3 hours long. So you're going to be in that movie theater for a minute. But it's a really, really good movie. I enjoyed it. As far as whether or not it was better than the first one, I will say I liked it better than the first one. However, there were things that weren't really tied up. So there's a few, plot holes that weren't really resolved at the end of the movie, and I think that's because they're gonna make another one. I do think, actually, I know in my heart they're gonna make another one, a third one. Probably not until another 5 or 6 years, realistically speaking. But yeah, I do think they're gonna make a new one because some of the plot holes just wasn't making sense. And but yeah, other than that, I would give the movie out of out of 10, or actually out of 5. I would give that movie, honestly, I would give it a 4.7 or a 4.8. In my opinion, I thought it was a solid movie. And of course, it's Black Panther. I mean, I think that's one of the only superhero movies that I can really get into these days. The plot was really good. I really did like Namor. I really liked his character. I think he is very interesting, and a lot of his morals and a lot of what he fights for is very similar to Killmonger. It's nothing that we haven't seen before. It's nothing that's oh my god, this is groundbreaking, stuff. Nothing like that, but there's just some kind of charm about him. Maybe it's the actor. He is played by Tenoch Huerta. Tenoch. I'm butchering his name, but It's it's played by him. He did a great job in that movie. Um, I liked him. I really, really liked Princess Shuri. She really shined. Um, she really stepped up. She in the first one, she was a little bit of like the genius sister sidekick, and it was more so focused on um, T'Challa. It was more so, but this movie is a lot of it. It's like it's her story. It shifts from T'Challa to in this movie she's like really the main character, and you really see her shine in this movie. So that's all I'm gonna say about it. Um, yeah, go see it. I recommend y'all see it. Those are just my thoughts. I liked it. I really, really, really liked Namor. I really, really, really liked Princess Shuri. Those are my top two favorite characters. And there's a few other things I left out that, I'll let you guys go see it for yourselves. But I left out a little bit of the history of Namor and his people. Just little conflicts here and there in the movie that, this is almost 3 hours worth of plot that I would have to cover. And I feel like, well, I don't want to say too much to where when you get to the movie, there's not much for you to enjoy yourself. So yeah, I recommend the movie, and I think you guys would really, really, really like it. But that's all for me. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Please leave a like and subscribe. Again, these are my personal thoughts and opinions. This isn't facts. This is just how I felt about the movie. Um, yeah, that is it for today. I hope you guys all have a good Thanksgiving, eat some good food, and y'all be safe this weekend. Bye bye. I might do more reviews if y'all really, really like this one. I might do some more reviews, but yeah, comment down below what you thought about the movie. Was what I said accurate? Did you disagree? Did you feel like something I said about any characters weren't true, or how did you feel? But yeah, thank you, everybody. Bye. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, and I hope you guys have a blessed weekend and everybody has a good rest of the week. Bye bye.